Hey everybody, welcome to Squatch Talk. I'm Pat, and tonight we're going to talk about the advanced researcher, which is a concept, or somewhat of a concept, a 5 points of what it would take to become an advanced researcher. And I scribbled it down weeks ago, and I thought, what, how do I want to present this? I went through all kinds of ways to do it, from content, good narration. But what I've settled on is I'm just going to talk about it on the fly, live, without a net. And I think that's the best way to do it. It's just kind of, at the end of the day, I think that's just who I am and how I do things. So, but I am serious. I think there are some things that need to be talked about in much greater detail, in a much different way, in a much more serious way, to kind of up the game, right? So, we do this when it comes to the Bigfoot thing, this chasing of the tail, this same old, and the game needs to be upped quite a bit, in my opinion. But I've put those opinions out there in my own way, not so structured, like I'm about to kind of go over, but in my own way, just talking about drones and stuff like that, and and so we talked last week. We had Doug Highcheck, and he's a producer, he's a big time, kind of History Channel producer, Monster Quest, very successful show. And oddly enough, man, Doug wanted to talk about a lot of low-tech ideas, which kind of surprised me. And I actually thought that was great, and I loved exploring that because, hey, look, man, just like anybody watching right now, $300 probably means the same amount, about the same amount of money relative to your life, as it does to me, as it does to you, So I get that, so what Doug brought to the table was, more low-tech ways, using existing cheaper technology with better tactics or better ways of doing it. And that's kind of that would almost be a whole nother show. Like not a lot of people know how to open up their ISO to full night vision. Or take security cameras and give them everlasting power, So we did talk about that on the show, which is like right next door here. Was last week's show, so you can watch that if you haven't seen that yet. And we actually addressed that. But I'm here to talk about something else, and it's not low-tech stuff, although anybody using whatever level of technology and you're actually trying to use to sort of gather evidence, or maybe get that shot or that good audio, whatever it is you're trying to do in your mission of being out there in the woods, and whatever level of technology, I think all of this criteria still applies to you. Even though you can't meet the first one, and that's fine. Like, let's say that's fine. I get it. Again, hundreds of dollars means something to me. Thousands of dollars definitely means something to me. So some of this is more like a focus kind of thing for people that maybe can't afford more advanced technology. And some of it just applies below the number one piece of criteria. Because I think it's important. And I'm just, again, man, I'm just trying to up the game. I'm trying to bring something here to the table to up the game. All of this could be added to. Some of this could be challenged, but at the end of the day, man, I think this is all fair and reasonable stuff. So I'll just go ahead and present it now and get on with it. So basically, I'll just kind of try, like, cold read my introduction here, is that it's more important than ever when researching and trying to observe a Sasquatch on film that you prepare yourself to present potential evidence with the proper criteria for public or private scrutiny. The Bigfoot world is full of hoaxes and misidentification, and one must rise exponentially above that to be considered compelling, much less conclusive. I'll lay out 5 criteria that must be met for anyone's evidence to be taken seriously at all, in my opinion. And if met, a new category of researcher will be born. That's the title of the show, The Advanced Researcher. So, let's see. Point number 1 in criteria. Sorry, I'm juggling a few things as I do this. And I'm not going to read all this. I'm just going to do a synopsis. So there's a lot of people out there with good gear. They might have a $1,500 $1,500 FLIR monocular, or they may even have a couple $1,000s invested in audio. Although I'm really not going to focus too much on audio, because I think at the end of the day, audio is it's just inconclusive in its nature, right? Especially in 2021, where it's easy to manipulate stuff, with audio, much easier than video, I'd say. So people have good gear. They have a FLIR monocular or something along those lines, and they think they have advanced gear, but that's not the case. Those things like that. So especially when we talk about the FLIR monoculars, even the ones that could film, even if you capture a Bigfoot on that thing at, say, 30 yards, it's the equivalent of a thermal blob squatch. There's no detail. You could go the next day or whenever, go out in the woods and try and do comparison stuff. And I've seen where people have gone way wrong with all of that. And either claim they caught a Bigfoot on thermal, which I don't think they did, or in the end, admit that they fooled themselves that night, because the technology is just, it's not advanced enough. So I think the first thing that needs to happen is that the people that can do it, you have to start thinking about it, investing tens of thousands of dollars into actual footage, actual conclusive discovery or observation, tens of thousands of dollars. So you got to get your head out of the thousands of dollars range. And that's what I've done. And again, let me be completely transparent with you, man. I'm a blue collar working guy. I don't have tens of thousands of dollars. I can't just whip that kind of money up. So I say this from, somebody that kind of swims in that income level. But I'll say it anyway. That's what it's going to take. The gear has got to get better. Whatever it is you're trying to do on the ground or in the air, audio, again, I don't want to talk about audio too much, but any kind of video, we're gonna get them on film. We're gonna observe them. We're gonna get the jump on them. We're gonna get the best of them. Whatever that is, man, it's gonna take tens of thousands of dollars, or at least 10 grand, to do that. It's going to take more than a FLIR monocular, man, and that's for sure. To up the game, to get better than, you're gonna have to get out of the mentality of cheaper equipment. And I say cheaper because, again, it's not cheap to me either. But when you're talking about the kind of equipment and the level of capabilities, most Bigfooters go for the low-hanging fruit, the shit they can afford. They don't go for the best stuff. They just go for what they think's good and can afford. So I think that's an important piece of criteria for actual advancement. Again, if you can only afford low tech, fine. I'm not trying to tell everybody to go spend tens of thousands of dollars. Some people could do it. Most people can't. But the more people that are willing to actually up their game by upping their investment of the kind of gear they use, then the bigger the net gets. And that's the theme of what I'm trying to put out here is, how big of a net do we want? How much bigger can we make this net for observation? Which is my goal. I know that's not everybody's goal. Like, some people don't care, but all right. So point number 2 is this: metadata and transparency. So you capture some footage. You think it's interesting, and maybe it is. Maybe you think it's compelling. Maybe you think it's conclusive. But if you do capture something like that, you must be willing to provide the metadata. That goes along with the actual visual. Okay, so it's important. It's important you do that because it demonstrates a willingness to be transparent, right? It eliminates like a huge part of the vetting process. Because if you want to, show some footage, you're gonna be vetted. The Bigfoot world does that, man. It vets. It does vet stuff. And the metadata is very, very important because it proves that what people are seeing on your presentation, let's say, is exactly what the camera saw. So it takes out things like CGI programming. It removes Photoshop. It just shows that those things aren't inserted there, and that what you captured is what the camera saw. And so at that point, it would have to be like a hoax on the ground. So it would have to be something that was hoaxed outside the camera in actual real time. So that actually eliminates a lot of stuff. Now, when it comes to metadata, a lot of people won't. I say for good reason. In most circumstances, they won't want to give away that geolocation. So I say that's fair. If you're willing to provide metadata, then if you block out the location, that's fine. Like, I don't think that's a big red flag. It's actually understandable, So, again, it's a credibility issue. So if you're gonna bring footage to the table and go, hey, look at this, right? Just provide the metadata. You can leave the location out. That's fine. As long as you're willing to talk about the general area, within 100 square miles, let's say, a part of the country or region. But that's something that doesn't get talked about a lot. I've heard it a couple of times in the past week, which made me real happy. But so if you're trying to get footage and you get something interesting, just at least be willing to provide the metadata. I think you should just do it on your own. It just cuts out a lot of the BS. Third point I want to make is gather other evidence. If you can. This is one of those things that's kind of a if you can. So wherever this took place, wherever you had this sighting that you filmed, or you took a series of pictures of, anything compelling or interesting that took place in your research of trying to observe, gather other evidence. Go out the next day or whenever you can to, look for prints or disturbances in the brush. Like, I don't know, whatever you, boots on the ground guys do, and at that point, audio becomes even more important. Like, this is when audio really becomes important. If you get a good visual, right? You got this 30-second clip, whatever it is, it's interesting, it's compelling, but you have audio to go along with that. And also anybody who else was there, immediately document that too. Like, so everyone's statements, whatever audio was captured that goes along with this footage, that's all an important part of the package of the bigger body of evidence that you want to bring to the table. The bigger the body, the better. Like, no pun intended. But yeah, just the body of evidence itself. That's huge. So gather as much evidence as you can outside of your whatever you got on film. Number 4, be skeptical of your own footage. Be the biggest critic of your own imagery. It's better that you debunk it than someone else does. So if you get something you find compelling, be skeptical of it yourself. Try and look at it with a skeptical eye and try and debunk it. I've actually seen someone do this and they debunk themselves and save themselves a ton of embarrassment by running out and going, hey, look, we got a Bigfoot, here it is. And then somebody else has to say, no, you didn't. That's just a tree, literally, So I've seen that happen. I've seen people do that. And so I would just advocate that, everyone do this. Like, whoever you are, if you're looking for a freaking Bigfoot, no matter how compelling of footage you get, you think it is, you should be the first to scrutinize it and even try and debunk it yourself. And I'm not saying actually debunk it. I'm just saying go with it at that mentality. It's what I'll do. If I get footage, I'll try and figure out what it's not before I settle on what I think it is. And if you do that, again, you're covering your ass. Like, a lot of this stuff, if you haven't noticed, it's really about covering your own ass, because it's a presentation, and it should be a presentation, not monetization, or like right out of the bat. Like, I mean, we'll get into some of that stuff. You just need to be as transparent as possible and bring as much evidence to the table as possible. And look, guys, I mean, if just 10 people up their game this much, I think the level of like evidence would go up percentage wise, like compelling evidence. We don't have a lot of that right now. Again, 50 years, Patterson-Gimlin is the best we have. So we have to break that somehow. And it's definitely in this criteria is how that gets broken. At least something. I've at least touched on something, that will be what breaks, whether it's because I said it or not. A lot of this is common sense, or it should be. All right, so number 5, and this is actually like the most important one. I'd say it's even. I think it's the most important one. Like I think advanced equipment is the most important, or second to the most important. But this is the most important, and I call it "Look, everybody! Look, everybody!" So to me, it's a big red flag when people skip the most important processes that I just went over, and they just run to the first YouTube channel that'll have them, or their own channel. And it's the look, everybody, look what I got. Bam. Yeah, let's do a show about it. We'll pull it up. We'll screen share it. We'll talk about it. Like none of that comes across as like compelling or legit to me. When people just take footage that's 5 seconds, it's usually, a 5-second clip of whatever. It could be thermal or could be like, raw. And it's like, yeah, I'm not seeing it. Oh, and by the way, you didn't, did you provide any bigger body of evidence? Did you bring your metadata with you? Or are you providing that while I'm watching this? Yeah. So, because there's a lot of hoaxers. Most of the Bigfoot world is nothing but hoaxing, misidentification, and trolls. That's it. Like, that's most everything you see in your Bigfoot groups. On Facebook, on YouTube, people that hide behind Patreon, like, those are red flags. So I think it's important that if you get something you think is compelling, you vetted it yourself, you're willing to be transparent, don't run to the first YouTube channel with it. In fact, do the opposite. Take it to a scientist. Show it to Meldrum. He'll look at it. He'll look at it in real time, especially if you say, hey, dude, this is compelling. Show it to like High Check. Show it to anybody else who's a professional, even maybe your own family and friends. Show it to them too. Like people who don't believe in Bigfoot, or let's say believe, but don't think anything of Bigfoot. Show it to them. See what they think. Don't run to the first channel that'll have you on. That's not the way to do it. And here's the hardest part. You got to do it more than once. It can't be one thing. You can't. You at least have to do it twice. Really, 10 times. Personally, I'd like to see 100. 100 times. Repeatable. So if you got a 5-second thermal clip of a Bigfoot, and maybe it was a Bigfoot. Let's just say it was a Bigfoot. You got to do it again. You got to show you were in that same area on a different night. You got that same kind of clip, and it looks similar. It has to be repeatable. That's the only way we're going to break the mold of this whole thing, this chasing the tail. That people, most of the shit you see in the Bigfoot world is hoaxed or misidentification or some troll. People love to troll the Bigfoot world. The only way to break that is if people take this, extremely, like, very, very, very seriously. They use the right gear. They're transparent about it. They don't hide from anything. They're willing to engage with any kind of criticism because, I mean, the truth's on their side, right? And then do it more than once. So I say, first time you get compelling footage, don't even bother showing it. Like, don't show it publicly. Maybe show it to, like I said, show it to Meldrum. Show it to your friends. Show it to your family, whatever. Maybe even some inside people in the Bigfoot world that whatever. But don't just run straight to the first channel that you want to be on or wants to have you, or your own channel to boost it, right? You better have at least two capture it again, because if you can do it once, you can do it again. I don't think it's a situation that we only get to spot them on camera once every 50 to 100 years. I don't think that's a thing. Maybe it is, but I don't think that's a thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post the link, paste, and I'm going to open it up for discussion. If any moderators know how to pin the link, I would appreciate that. Pin it to the top. I don't know if that can be done or not. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Oh man, okay. I can't do it. I can't do it from StreamYard. I'm not even going to bother trying to do it from my phone. So yeah, man, that's it. That's just kind of my whole spiel about what it would actually take to become an advanced researcher, and it's kind of tongue in cheek, but the point is that better than what's been happening, better than what's going on. I mean, what's going on out there? Who's out there? We have names. We know people. We all know people. They seem to be trying, but they can't get like good results. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it went. You're gonna be monetized. Oh, you're probably right. Yeah. Yep. And I'm not monetized, so I guess I can't pin something to the top. I guess just keep posting it over and over again. Hope somebody wants to jump in. Otherwise, I'll cut it short. I don't care. I mean, I pretty much said what I wanted to. Those are important things. I think that, if you incorporate all 5 of those things, man, I think you'll get a result, like a significant one. Again, I want 20. Dude, I'm talking to an audience of 20 or 30 right now. I know that more people will see this video. But I'm really only speaking to about 20 or 30 people who might, be in the Bigfoot world researching. And I'm saying to you guys, up your game. Just up your game. And I say that as somebody who's willing to do that themselves. The search for metadata. Squatch Talk 1, the search for metadata. What do you mean, dude? I don't have to search for it. People need to provide it. But I hear you, man. It's like that I think that bothers me more than anything is that when people come running to the table with their footage and they can't or they don't provide any metadata. I'm not saying they can't. It's and I've asked for it. I've specifically asked for it. And this is true. I know this personally from Patrick is that I've seen him transfer metadata personally. So yeah. So yeah, I mean, praying is biggest hurdle with gear is expense. Last squatchers are working blue collar stiffs with a day job and other bills. The good stuff is expensive. I agree, and I admitted that. I admitted that up front. Like I'm not trying to hide from that. I have the same problem, man. The gear that I want, you know, is a little bit outside of my income range, honestly, you know. So it's great gear. It would do the job. It's gonna do the job. That's why I'm gonna invest in it one way or another. I don't care if I have to, beg, borrow, or steal. Like, I'm gonna get that piece of equipment, and I'm gonna use it to its, full potential, and it will get results. Like, I have no doubt in my mind, and so that's the kind of attitude I'm trying to pass along here, man. Is that, look, it's going to take something else. It's going to take something else than what's been happening for the past 50 years, which is about the same. Even though technology has advanced, it's just that it's advanced more than you know. Like, crappy, like the low end versions of good technology aren't much better than everything else that's been tried in the past 50 years. I think it's pretty simple. Not sure what you mean, Donald. Like, I don't know. What? Yeah. Sorry, that one escapes me. I'm not sure what you're trying to say there. But thanks for commenting. Appreciate it, Donald. Keep it up. Yeah, I know, Gary. I'm not trying to talk about everyone in the Bigfoot world here. I'm talking about people that are genuinely trying to get an observation. That's the best way I can describe it. An actual observation captured on film. For whatever reason, because they want to try and make money off of it, or because, they want to go, aha, I told you so, or they're, my whole thing is just to get more professionals interested in the phenomena. Like, that's my motivation, I mean, at the end of the day, man, tons of observation on Sasquatch will be, that's just going to be worth money anyway. Way more money than a, monetized YouTube channel. If I get tell you right now, if I get great footage of a Sasquatch, let's just say that 10 minutes, 10 minutes observed Sasquatch, like fairly conclusive, which it would be, again, using advanced gear. I'm not bringing it to YouTube. You're not going to see it on this channel. That's not where it's going. Not at all. Because my head's 10 steps down the field, man, with that kind of a result. It's way bigger than a YouTube channel. All right, so I'll post this again. If anybody wants to like opine or discuss, I'd be happy to have you here. Jump right in. Somebody's trying to. Is this I think this is Sean Eyes.
Yes, sir.
Oh. Whoa.
What happened?
Uh-oh. I'm having problems. There he is.
Hello?
Great. Hey, bud. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I cannot hear you.
Oh, let me go in there and see. Oh, that's strange. Everything's on.
Yep, almost. Hey, this could be me, man. We hear him. Okay. Sean, give me a second. I'm actually going to leave the room and come right back in, okay?
Yeah.
Because I can't, yeah, I'm having some kind of issue here.
Okay. Hi, guys. No. I can hear you both. Oh. I don't know. How's everyone doing? What's going on? Anybody have some, I want everyone's metadata, please. Right now. Just post it. Oh, yeah, there's a good idea. Anybody interested, contact Central Florida Bigfoot. He's always interested in helping people get better quality footage, and he's a nice guy. And yeah, I'm taking over the show. That's right. This is now Sean talk. No, I'm not going to sing the Black Crows, Patrick. I got to brush up on them. Lockbeard. This is like that episode in the Twilight Zone where the guy's all by himself. Just waiting for people to come in and save me. Hey, Jay, what's up? We should do some karaoke. Hey, might as well promote other stuff. If you didn't see Central Florida Bigfoot on Steve Cole's the other night, go check it out. Good show. Mandy. Barry Manilow.
All right. You got me, dude?
I got you. What's up?
All right. I'm back. Sorry, I'm definitely having some computer issues or something, man.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, I just bought this stuff, the new microphone and stuff. And
no, yeah, it's not you. As soon as like chat said, "Oh, we can hear you both," I was like, "Oh no, I'm in trouble here. I'm having," because there was a big lag just trying to get you into the stream. So,
yeah,
yeah.
I I figured maybe it was a green screen or something.
Yeah, that's what it was. Everybody, it was Sean's green
It
screen.
was my green screen.
It wasn't me. It wasn't my computer.
No, not Pat.
Yeah, here I am
No.
talking about advanced gear and my
Events
freaking
gear, and we had
my
a
Mac.
malfunction.
My Mac's giving me problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want any audio of Sasquatch from you, Pat.
It's the government, don't you know?
Yeah.
They're
Oh
trying to.
yes.
They're trying to take me out. What's up, dude? How you doing? What do you?
I'm doing all right. Nothing. I was just sitting back watching. I said, all right, I'll pop on.
All right.
Yeah, a lot of that footage talk is always interesting because you get people to send you stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to hurt people's feelings, but
Sure.
if your blur is blur, guess what you got? A blurry image,
Yeah. Even if it's a Bigfoot, right? Like even if it is one, it's
Well,
just not. It's not a good photo of one. Sorry.
The problem is though that a lot of those things are blur in a tree line or something. Now, a nice good 8-foot blur in the open, that would be better than something in the tree line in the shadow behind this branch. And I like when the Bigfoot's head is supposed to be large and it's in between this small little space in the branches. And I'm like, shouldn't its head be coming up above and be as wider than the opening?
Right.
And then they just, well, it's a juvenile. I'm like, we can't always run to juveniles.
Don't you know it's a juvenile? Yeah, I'm kind of the angle I'm coming from is anything that would be more compelling than that. So it's sort of a niche right now of like, hey, look what we got, which could be a variety of things, But I'll use some thermal imaging, as a good example. Is that people have been taking thermals out in the woods thinking that, hey, this is the best thing to get them, right? And they're just it's not enough. The thermal equipment they're using is subpar.
Yeah, well, you just wind up with a heat signature bending over.
Yeah, like I said before, a thermal version of a blob squatch. There's no definition really.
Yeah,
you really can't tell size. There's ways to hoax that again, and no transparency, and it's like, so really, I'm trying to appeal to people that want to use more advanced gear, and I'm kind of trying to tell them you don't have advanced gear, and you're not being transparent enough. And anybody else that wants to ever try this, go, you gotta get bigger and better, and always be transparent. So yeah, forget the blob squatch stuff. That's either mostly hoaxes or misidentification or pareidolia.
Oh, that pareidolia runs rampant. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not even concerned with that level of anything. That's just kind of, par for the course in the Bigfoot world, spreading that crap around. Like I'm talking like way further down the road than that kind of shit.
Put the green screen on.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, I'm not used to the StreamYard yet when the screen pops up for you, but the people can't see it. Like you hit the cam mic button. I keep forgetting that the viewers can't see it. And I'm like, oh, that popped up.
You mean for your
yeah,
like
when
for
you
your
click
green screen.
Yeah. And I'm like, the people can't see you doing it. I'm like, I gotta get used to it.
That's cool. Pat, did you cut your hair? LOL. No, I don't know if you're making a joke, but no. But I will. At the end of the month, it will all be gone. The P word. Okay.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
The P word.
So yeah, man. I mean,
yeah, I haven't seen anything interesting that's new.
Well, no, and you won't. Is my
Yeah.
point. Like,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen until people, one way or another, man, up their game. You know, it has to be done. I see no other way. Otherwise, what are we doing? Like saying, like going off probabilities, right? So if we keep doing the same crap over and over again, eventually it'll pay off. When? Like, I don't know. You know,
Never.
probably
But
never. Yeah.
yeah,
There's
the
something.
Yowie hunters.
There's something, you know, pretty sharp we're up against. You know, and it's great to come up with ideas to trick them, and I encourage that. Like, that's fine. You know, imagine it. Human imagination can be a powerful thing to imagine a new concept to try and fool them. You know.
Yeah, that's what Patrick does. Well, he tries.
Yeah. No,
Trying is half the battle.
He's trying to be like, disguise. You know, like have a visual optic presence out there, sort of disguised as well as possible. You know,
I did like his what was it last week? His pressure switch idea. I thought that was an interesting idea.
Yeah, me too.
Pressure. I was like,
You go boots. So I'm gonna do some boots on the ground stuff, just because I've realized that I've talked a little too much shit about boots on the ground. So I'm like, well, you know what? You know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna dip my foot in those waters and do some boots on the ground stuff, just so I could be like so I can talk about that without talking out of my ass. Does that make sense? Kind of what I've realized. And yes, I will apply, Patrick. You know this about me. I will apply this criteria no matter what. If it's boots on the ground, if it's outside my window right now, if it's from air superiority, whatever it is, I will apply all 5 points. Absolutely, 100%.
yes.
I promise.
What was that one photo? Damn. The one Steve Cole's got from his friend. I forgot the name of it already.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I forgot. I'm losing it. The Vermont trail cam photo.
Was that it? The trail cam thing?
Yeah, I was looking at that thing.
Did Steve actually go investigate it? Like,
Yeah.
where it happened, right?
Yeah, he's friends with the guy, I guess, too.
Yeah.
Or they became friends from it.
Right.
That was interesting, but it's not definitive of anything.
At the end of the day, it's not conclusive at all. And I guess the best that Steve convinced me of anything, because a lot of people were saying it was an owl, and I kind of understood that, although it didn't quite look like that, but I was like, maybe. But the only thing he convinced me of, as far as that whole picture went, is that it's likely not an owl.
Yeah.
That's it. So at the end of the day, I don't know what I'm looking at. And that kind of crap is never gonna be enough.
Yeah.
And I guess some people will say, enough for what? And it'll never be enough for me. It'll be never be enough for me to ever show to any professional in this world that's outside of the Bigfoot world. That's what I need. That's what I want. I'm tired of going on these debates without freaking evidence, man. Like, come on, Bigfoot world, step up, give me some freaking evidence that I can actually go have a discussion with people about. Because now, outside of the Patterson Gimlin film and the fact that we do have tracks, that's it, man. It's a very small body of evidence.
Yeah. And Central Florida Bigfoot was talking. He'd like to see more teams have an actual videographer that is their profession be on teams.
I don't know.
And
I
that's
don't
kind
know.
of
I don't know that that's a thing. Honestly, videography is not hard to learn. So if you're a Bigfooter and you want to use a camera, there are plenty of like things you could watch on YouTube about how to film. Like, I'm serious, you know?
yeah, but even that would be better than what we get today.
Yeah. So you learn about your camera. You learn about its kind of like its strengths, its weaknesses, how easy it is to turn on, how easy it is to focus. What kind of range does it have? What kind of focus does it have? How do you get the right exposure, right? Now, people think, yeah, that's complicated, but actually, I mean, I found that actually it's not. It's very intuitive with modern technology.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like when you pull your phone out, right? And you're trying to like with an iPhone, at least, because that's all I've ever had. It gives you a little exposure window in your picture. You can kind of choose your exposure that way. It's very intuitive with modern technology. So I don't think you need to go out and, professional videographers aren't cheap.
Yeah, but you know what?
You know,
If you can do it, I say do it.
I say learn your gear. Like
Yeah, that too.
get your own camera and get your own gear. We don't need uh $200,000 cameras on the ground. That's pointless. You know, that's for like high def. That's for television and film. That's not for documentaries. You know, um, so I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe go take a class. If a YouTube class isn't good enough, then maybe go take an actual class or befriend a videographer and learn from them. But videographers aren't cheap. They're not,
No.
and they probably don't want to just sit around in the woods waiting for Bigfoot to walk by, which probably isn't going to happen anyway.
Yeah. You don't consider the Freeman video as good or better than the Patterson Gimlin film? No.
And I don't. It's definitely not better.
Quality wise, that footage is terrible.
Yeah. And much it's much less of it. It's like it's like a 2-second movement across the field of view.
He was reusing VHS tapes. So
yeah. And it's so quick. It's very quick. I'll say this, to me it's I've always found it compelling.
Oh yeah, but
not
no.
At this point, dude, I've judged the Patterson Gimlin film so much that, I mean, to me, it's conclusive. That's the category I put it in is conclusive. The Patterson Gimlin, and yeah, we get to see it. We get to see Patty walk through the frame, for 30 seconds, like even longer, really, if you look at how much more they filmed it walking. I think it was more like a minute or 90 seconds, walking up the embankment there.
Oh yeah. 59
as it moved away.
Seconds.
Yeah, all continuous. But the money shots right there in that 30-second, clip.
Yeah.
And we have nothing like that since then. Nothing.
No, nothing at all.
Mm-mm.
And that led me on to find out about Roger Patterson a little bit more from a guy whose father grew up with him, and he was doing an interview, and he was talking about how serious Roger Patterson was about doing what he did, to the point while Roger Patterson is dying, he is still going out into the field looking for it. All this stuff about Patterson being a con man, there's absolutely no evidence to suggest that when it comes to Sasquatch, he was trying to con anyone.
I agree.
If we could find it, I'd love to see it, but this somebody called him a con man once, and it just kind of stuck. And it's just
stuck.
like,
right?
Why? Oh, he didn't return the camera. Well, they settled that. He paid. He paid what was owed, and the camera company said, "Cool, thank you."
Yeah.
It always bothered me that they keep calling him. I mean, Thomas Steenberger told me, they'll say, don't loan Roger money because you probably won't get it back.
And
Okay, well,
maybe,
if all your buddies know that, they're
and
they're
maybe,
kind of half-heartedly handing you money, knowing that it's not going
yeah.
to happen.
And maybe that's the kind of guy Roger was. That has nothing to do with his obsession with what turned into an obsession over Bigfoot and what we see in that film. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? I don't care. I don't care if he robbed a bank the year before he shot that film. It has nothing to do with what we see in the film. Nothing. You
Right.
know.
And that drives me crazy. I'm like, I don't know where this comes from. The Hinden, probably.
It just comes from unhealthy skepticism. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I'm pretty sure that the Patterson film makes some people uncomfortable enough to where that's just the road they go down, because it actually makes them uncomfortable. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
I mean, I had a young primatologist admit to me on air that the Patterson Gimlin film was a strange film.
Huh.
That's what she said. She doesn't believe in Bigfoot. She even said past that. She even said past that. Said it's not enough to get me to believe that there's a undiscovered hominin walking around at North America, but it's a strange film. So to her, it she's being open minded about it. So people quickly get closed minded. I mean, I'm sure you've heard, like, I know I've heard, Joe Rogan, every time
Oh, jeez.
he's like, oh, it's obviously a guy in a suit. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and
Fake.
dude,
Sorry.
Joe's a smart guy. He's a fairly intelligent person, man. But his weird reaction to the PG film is, oh, it's just a guy in a suit. That shows some level of like uncomfortability to me and denial.
Yeah,
And,
but he did
yeah.
a show where he went around to, I forget what the name of it was. He did another show besides Fear Factor where he investigated the paranormal and type stuff like that. And he said it was all just bunk. So I think he also projected those opinions onto it.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything's bunk.
Yeah, and I mean, I'd love to talk about the PG film with any skeptics or even there's people in the Bigfoot world that just flat out, like hate that film. Like, no way, that's complete BS. You guys are idiots if you think that's real.
I'm not even a researcher, and believe me, when you tell people Sasquatch is pretty much real, they look at you and going, "Wow." I started a Facebook page. I'm already getting messages. You're a loser. I'm like, oh, thanks. That's great.
Oh God.
But I don't care. I take it I take it in stride. I don't care.
Dude, I don't care at all, man.
Yeah. Someone's like,
I openly talk to people about Sasquatch.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's ever called me a loser for it. And if they did, they would regret the hell out of it, because
I just texted them back. I'm already a winner. Yeah, I'm already a winner because you took the time to type that.
Yeah. No, dude. I mean, there's just bad people in this world. That's all that is.
Oh yeah.
And there's closed-minded people. It's like, oh, okay, so you're just closed-minded. And again, like, why would you call me a loser? What about this subject makes you so uncomfortable that start calling people names, right?
He was like mad at me for no reason. Don't even know, strangers. It's like, huh?
Yeah.
It's just a Facebook page. You're that offended?
Well, welcome to the internet.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
But
Fun,
anyway,
fun,
man.
fun.
Oh God, I left this up. Oh God, how do I take it down? Oh, there it is.
I even got books now. I bought Grover Krantz book and Meldrum's book.
Oh yeah.
Well, I just wanted to get more detail on what they think of the tracks and stuff. I know I could watch YouTube, but sometimes
Mm.
reading is a comprehension thing too.
It is. I agree. Like I need to read more. Like that's my biggest criticism of myself right now is I need to read more and watch less.
Patrick.
Because you're right, dude. There's something very like pure and
Yeah, the
about
paper, the book,
about
it's so,
reading,
yeah.
and something about the way you absorb it. It sticks more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, Patrick. If you're gonna come in here and cause problems and be controversial and tell me that you're offended, because you're so easily offended, man, then I don't know what to tell you other than keep watching. The best
Yeah,
is yet to
please.
come, my friend. It's Mark and Larry. Why are we talking about Mark and Larry?
Who?
Who's talking about Mark and Larry? Are Mark and Larry here?
I don't know. Oh, I think it was something about some the Patterson Gimlin film debunking thing going around.
No, I don't think that was them.
Oh, no, I don't know what it is then.
I do. It's in the Coalition for Critical Thinking group.
Oh, geez. Oh,
Yeah.
boy. Ew.
Yeah.
I stopped by there one time. I said, okay, that's enough.
Yeah. I don't mind swimming in those waters. Like this video is posted here, so there's probably one or two people from that group watching it. But yeah, I don't know. Why'd you guys bring up Mark and Larry? Because I watched their show last night, man. It was awesome. It was a home run. Those guys are very objective, and I mean a fresh of breath air to me. I'm gonna have them on here one night if they'll come on. I don't know. They might come on, but they're super objective guys, man. On Leo Frank's Troll Bigfoot. Okay, I don't know. I'll have to check that out, Nikki.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, send me a link because I have no idea. Like I don't know who Leo Franks is.
Yeah, me either.
Like so. Yeah, just send me a link. See, Patrick just keeps talking shit. Like,
come on, Patrick's all right.
Well, I mean, he's all right.
Yeah.
I cut him a lot of slack on here. Actually.
Yeah, he's so wild and crazy.
He's a dude, that's for sure. They're good guys. Oh wait. Ozark Mountain Sasquatch. They are good guys. Are we talking about Mark and Larry still? They are good guys. If that's who you're talking about, they are good guys. All right. Everybody wants to talk about Mark and Larry. Well, where are they? Come on, guys. You guys.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, come on, jump in. I will. I'm gonna ask. I mean, I'm definitely gonna ask them on one night because I think that'd be a great discussion. They're funny too. They bring humor to the table. I love that. They don't take themselves too seriously, but they're intelligent.
Yeah. Oh. What's their channel?
I
don't think I've seen them.
God, help me out, chat. What is their channel? I can't remember. I watched their live show last night. What is Mark and Larry's channel? Oh, come on. I don't. I guess everybody's scrambling to look at their
They're scrambled.
their YouTube page, which I could be doing too, actually.
Yes, what is their channel? Oh,
Beast TV.
Beast TV. Oh, okay. I've heard of Beast TV. I probably watched a few episodes.
Yeah, which is funny because I do have it pulled up. Like, right? Oh, not here. Oh, get out of that. Yeah. Yeah.
Sawdust Beast and Beast. Oh, okay. No, I know. Okay. I've watched them. I didn't watch last night though. Okay.
Yeah. It's yeah. Well, here it says Beast of the Woods. So that the YouTube channel is Beast of the Woods. At least that's where they did their live broadcast last night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sawdust Beast and Beast of the Woods. Also Beast of the Woods. Yes. All right. So chat has filed in with the Beast TV, Beast of the Woods. I do. I don't know. I don't know. I want to find out. I want to find out if they do. You know how we do that? Become an advanced researcher. And then we'll actually, that's the whole point, is that we can actually answer questions like that. Like, or we could bring those answers to the Bigfoot world or the public in general. So, yeah.
Wouldn't that footage be absolutely amazing though?
It's gonna be
a Bigfoot digging its food and whatever. That would be wild.
I tell you what, I mean, I've heard some pretty interesting anecdotal stuff as far as that goes. But it's kind of hard for me to talk about. Like, because number one is anecdotal and it just came from one person. And, I don't know. I personally found it compelling, but of course, I can't say it's evidence.
Oh well,
I mean, the same guy told me that the one that he was kind of around knew how to make fire.
Oh.
Like, so, I mean, what do you do with that?
You go, okay, thank you. No, can you?
No, I mean,
prove it?
well, I don't do that. To be honest with you, I took him at his word. Yeah. It's just, I can't prove it, and it can never be proved. And that anecdotal situation can never be proved. It happened, 40 plus years ago. All I know is that whenever the fire subject gets brought up, most people in the Bigfoot world go, well, they don't make fire. And I'm like, well, how do you know?
Yeah,
do you know that because you follow them around all day and watch them, and therefore you determine that they don't make fire? You don't know that. They could make fire without us knowing that. I think that could totally be a thing. Maybe not, but it could be.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So again, observation. Let's get to the point where we can observe them for minutes and minutes and then hours and hours, right?
Right.
And documented. Let's get hours of documentation of observation. Let's do that. How do we do that? Isn't that what you guys want? Isn't that what people in the Bigfoot world answers? If you've ever seen one, don't you want answers? Some kind of answers, There's ways to do this. And that's why I'm here tonight. There's a way to do it. but it has to be an effort involving a lot of people and using the criteria I laid out, or more. Add more criteria to it. I don't think you can take much away from it, but you can certainly add more to it. That's fine.
Yeah, vet who you go out with.
That too. I mean, look, a big problem in the Bigfoot world is a lack of objectivity and gullible people, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of gullible people in the Bigfoot world that are so hungry for answers that they'll weaken themselves. They'll weaken their mind, their filter to a point of gullibility. And yeah, so that can manifest itself, just like you said, you know, even to the point of like meeting people and getting involved with them, right?
Right.
Yeah.
YouTube's doing that live things with the comments again. Oh, they're there. Never mind.
No, yeah. What are they talking about?
No, the thing disappeared on me for a second.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like chat's just doing their thing, being chat, which is good to see. Like, I mean, this this small channel. It's cool to see chat so engaging with each other, even.
Yeah, a lot of the shows have that. It's fun to go on Steve Cole's. It's fun to come here. It's fun to go on Central Florida Bigfoot.
Right.
Some of the other stuff I watch is for my personal entertainment of people I don't necessarily believe.
Right.
But I already know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take it as entertainment because it's entertainment.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're 5 steps ahead of the game if you realize that.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah. Sometimes I just want to go, oh wow, you got the best Bigfoot footage ever. You think so? No. But I try not to comment.
See, that's the thing. You can't. Right? I'm not saying you can't. I'm not being dictatorial about that. I'm saying that in general, it's like you feel like you can't question what they're presenting to you because why? Probably get attacked.
Yeah, if you want an argument, go for it.
Yeah, well, I know all about that.
Make a comment, get into an argument. Hey, I'm not mean. There's no you're an idiot, but they're readily armed with all the slurs and names calling they can come up with. It's funny.
Yeah, and if they do that, and I'm talking about like the people that are presenting the evidence, or even even the freaking people that are hosting the presenters of the evidence. That's a red flag. I mean, that's all that kind of that knee-jerk criticism of how dare you question me attitude. Red flag. Like, I'm done with you. Like, you just showed me you're full of crap.
Yep.
Or you're a freaking idiot that doesn't know how to present evidence properly, So that's the crap that has to change. I'm more than willing to throw those people into the hoax bus, man. Like, boop, you're a hoaxer, or you don't know what you're looking at. Like one way or the other, that's where you belong. You belong in that category. I'm going to move on to people that are like way more open, way more transparent. That's what I'm about here. So that's what I expect of others.
Yeah. Well, it got so bad. I'll see you later. I got rid of the channel for a little while. And then I was like, you know what? Why the hell am I letting these jerks dictate what I'm interested in? And so I came back.
And don't.
I found some cool people finally. Actually, there's a lot of cool people.
They're
But-
here. Here's one
Hi,
of them.
Nikki.
Hi.
Nikki's cool. I like Nikki.
I'm very cool.
She's very, very cool. I don't know.
Mhm.
Somebody told
Oh,
me, stop saying very. You sound like a teenager. I'm like, I can't help it.
no, it's all good. It's all good. No, earlier, what is it? Little ski? I don't, or skill. I
Skill?
can't remember who I was talking to on the chat. And they were bringing up Leo Frank's photos. And to be honest with you, the only photo I really know is his famous Bigfoot troll photo. So I was
Oh,
like,
I know what you're talking about.
you know,
I'm
it's like,
sorry.
it looks like a little
Yes.
waterfall or something, but his head is sticking like in between some rocks, and he looks
Yes.
like a troll, like a man with a beard, big nose, long hair, you know.
Okay.
So, but I never liked that photo. You know, I looked into Leo Frank a little bit, but I didn't like any of his photos, so I moved on. But I guess now he's putting out more photos. I don't know. And so that's why Lil was trying to get me who he had an interview with, because I guess he doesn't have a YouTube channel.
Oh, that
Okay.
guy.
How did Larry and Mark get into that?
Are
we conflating things?
No, he did an interview with them recently, I guess.
He had
Leo,
them on his
Leo
show
Frank was on with them.
with them. Okay.
Yes, and
Okay.
did an interview. And so
Oh,
that's
gotcha.
what they were, he was, or he or she, I'm sorry, I don't know who it is, was trying to relay to me. But you know, when you're trying to text and everything, you lose some stuff in there. But that's what it was, trying to get me info on where I could see the Leo Frank interview.
Gotcha.
That was all.
Okay. That's cool. So
Yeah.
so what else, Nikki? What do you think? What do you think about what we've been discussing?
Listen, I'm all for the advanced researcher and having all that stuff. I just think, like we had discussed one time before, we're just made up of a community of weekend warriors, you know?
Mhm.
And unfortunately, we all have to, well, most of us have to work all the, during the week, or put in our hours. So that's why it makes us such short time researchers. You know, there's very few
Agreed.
of us that can go out every day or work out in the woods. Maybe if you're a land guy, forest ranger, or wildlife, or something to do where you're out there all the time, the two can mash together a little bit. But it's just that type of community we're made out of is we have to make a living first. And although there may be a little bit of money in Bigfoot, in maybe some bigger productions that are fully entertainment value type of stuff, for the regular person, it's nothing but money going out, nothing coming in. So
Yeah, I agree. There's no way to recoup good observations that you're not getting. I mean, if you're not getting them,
right.
you can't recoup that. But a lot of people, Nikki, I mean, I'll be honest with you, because you know how deep I swim these waters with some of these guys, and is that, I mean, they do it to do it. Like, they'll invest in it just to go out there and elicit an encounter, almost like just even a glimpse or some good audio. There's all types, there's all kinds of motivations, but it's they're willing to invest the money just to be able to engage better with them, and and have like no care about the rest of the world. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It does. But then you have that whole different levels of seriousness. I don't know how else to put it. You know, you have some who are researchers and some who are investigators and some who are just adventurers or seekers, searchers. I always called myself a searcher because I wasn't one of those that was out there to record what was going on and what I was finding. I was just out there to have a good time, you know, and mostly camp and
Yeah.
hike and
Me too.
do the 3-day weekend and, you know,
Mhm.
and come back and do the campfire and all of that business. And weird stuff would happen, or sounds or knocks, or what is it? Why is that happening? Just for my own information, I wanted to know what was going on, not really to publish it to science or
Yeah,
get
sure.
that way going on. So you've
And
got all
yeah,
these levels of people in the community.
I
And
agree. And again, I said this before, but it's worth noting is that really this video, especially the introduction that I gave, so my first part of this video is all about reaching a certain niche in the Bigfoot world. People that really are willing to do it, people that consider themselves researchers, you know, and like, dude, here's how you up your game. I don't care who you are, dude. I'll say this to Shane Carpenter. You know, I'll say this to Shane Church. I'll say this to Daniel. You know, I've already said it to Patrick. You know, um, and I'll keep going down that line of guys that really go out there. They're trying to get something. You know, um, one way or another, and this is just a better way to up your game. Whether you're, I mean, you know, some of these people are kind of already doing that, or they already meet the criteria, or most of it. You know,
mhm.
I mean, I'm gonna take Patrick Vaughn a little parrot drone that he can fly under the canopy. We'll give him a real big reach out and touch them power, and I'm gonna teach him how to use it. Like, so something that's not already in his like tool belt, right? Like, here, dude, like, here's what I have to bring to the table. You know, like, you're good at what you do and you're good at that, but here's my skill set that I can add to your tool belt when I'm not around. Um, you know,
Right.
just stuff like that, dude. And I mean, I'm willing to work with anybody with anything that has to do with what I know about, you know, that kind of tool.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I just want to up the game, man. No matter if it's personal or it's general, like whoever you are. I mean, at this point, it's been 50 plus years. We gotta up the game. We have to have a bigger net. So the more people that could do things better and more professionally, and be able to bring that back to the table as actual presentation of evidence. Like, to me, that's everything that needs to be done. It's actually that simple to me. To me.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
it seems like there's little pockets of people, you know, from East Coast, the Midwest, the Pacific Northwest, who really want to do that because they really feel they're in areas that are very highly concentrated with
yeah,
Bigfoot, or they have, you know, those areas that keep getting incident reports and sightings and all of this. So they're in the perfect locations, but it always seems to come down to the same thing as time. You know, when do they have time to sit out there for 30 days at a time to do this research other than weekends, you know?
yeah, that's true. I mean, that is a factor that kind of goes without saying,
Yeah.
because there's just not a lot of people, if any, you know, that have time to spend personally, you know, engaging trying to engage, like you said, 30 days at a time. You know, it's so hit and miss with the weekend warrior stuff. Even
Right.
I would say even in an actual kind of hotspot, you know, because
Yeah.
you know maybe they're in their hotspot that night, maybe they're not. Maybe it's raining all that weekend. Whatever, right? There's so many factors. I mean, they're rare enough as it is,
Yeah.
you know.
And I mean, and even there's even like what the North American ape people,
No, yeah, no,
didn't they stay out there for weeks at a time, you know, doing their stuff.
yeah. I
And
mean,
we're still in the same place.
yeah, and I mean, you know, to me, that's an interesting one, you know, to kind of talk about or think about. I'm not sure what's going on there with those guys.
Right.
You know, I've
I
engaged
heard
with them.
more earlier when they first started than I do now.
Yeah,
There's not too much coming out.
there's not, and there. I mean, they, you know, I don't know. They engage with the public so very little.
Mhm.
That I'm like, transparency is an issue with them. I think, even though they try and come across as this like sort of public figure, like they talk about how they will go to schools and talk to kids about wood ape conservancy, and I'm like, huh? Like,
I never heard of
like,
that.
oh yeah, no, I've heard that. I've heard that from them, and I'm like, eh. Now I know Meldrum does do things like that, but he doesn't frame it as wood ape conservancy. He talks about, you know, a potential North American hominid.
Right.
Eh, I don't know. The Nowak guys, like I could do a whole show on them, and I would love to talk to them. You know, I know their PR guy, Matt Pruitt, but
I'd love to know about the new stuff going on. If there's new stuff going on, are they still hitting it hard? How many people do they still have in their group? Is it, you know, 5 or is 2 dozen? How many? What's going on? Are
yeah,
they still trying to geotag these things? I don't know.
there's
You know?
not a whole lot of information to come out of them
Right.
recently, and yeah. That whole geotag thing, which you know, Mark and Larry talked about last night on their show briefly. You know, I mean, it's interesting enough, but again, the problem is that it goes back to point number 5 of my criteria. Okay, repeat it. Do it again.
They can't. Yeah.
Well, try. Like
It's not happening.
yeah. So
Well, that's everybody's problem. We
Yeah.
have one sighting and then we can't duplicate it in the same spot. I mean, you have people who are doing it, but it's not grabbing evidence. It's just a sighting, you know, and that's all it is.
Well, you know, that's my challenge to the Nowak guys is that, you know what, do your geotag experiment 10 more times with, you know, so
Right.
there's enough data within those 10 times that is, you know, like similar, you know, all that data lines up to a bigger picture of, okay, this wasn't an anomaly or a bird or whatever didn't fly off with your tag. Like you keep getting good, interesting results. That's science. That's how science works.
Yep.
So that's what I say to them, and they're welcome on the show anytime they want. I have some relationship with them a little bit, but they don't like me.
Oh.
I'll say that they don't like me because I ask fair questions, man. Like, you know, and so again, that's a red flag, dude. If I can't ask you fair questions without you getting butthurt, that's a red flag. Sorry.
Big red flag.
You know,
I learned.
just the way it is. I mean, that's the way I take all this stuff now.
And there's really no reason to hold back anything because, in that sense, because we're just giving our opinions. You know, nothing is solidified. This is all just our own opinion, and can't think of the word I'm thinking of right now. But I could say, you know, Bigfoot do calisthenics at 10 o'clock every morning. How are you going to prove me wrong? You know,
I can't. Yeah,
you can't. So it doesn't really matter. It's all what you say is if you have believers in you, because the proof is not in the pudding at this time.
Right. I think like this matters most. Like, is that don't bring me something that's inconclusive, like especially a one-off inconclusive thing, no matter what it is, and then put a narrative to it that's trying to steer me in the Bigfoot direction.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And you will find a lot of people who do that.
I know.
And I wish I would tell you some right now.
No, I know.
Not because I'll start fights, because I know they've got followers there in the chat room. And if I say, well, this is what I think about this person, because they are manipulating the whole conversation. You know, they're making it out to be this or that. And they don't believe that because they've already sipped the Kool-Aid, you know.
And that's
okay for you.
Yeah.
But if I say no, you know, then that causes issues because that's the way we are, you know. We're human.
And that's why if you go back and watch the first, 20 minutes of this video, you'll see that I gave everyone a map to avoid all that. So that you're not the person who's taking something inconclusive and putting a narrative to it that you want it to be. Like, you can avoid all that. If you've got something good, do it right. Do it right. And I laid all those points out. I think they're valid points. Like, to me, they're inarguable points about moving things forward. And so if you don't want to be, a flash in the pan, you want some kind of longevity, man. You want to do things right. Don't avoid the pitfalls. Just avoid the pitfalls.
Right.
Because trust me, man, Nikki, if I got footage tomorrow, like 10 minutes of footage of a Bigfoot, and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And it would be hard. It would be hard for me to not go straight here to this channel and just put it up. Right.
No, you send it to us privately. Yeah.
So that we could post it all over.
Yeah.
Right.
No, we
but
wouldn't.
I can't. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't run straight to my YouTube channel because I understand the concept of there's better way to do it, and there's at the end of the day, it's a bigger thing than my freaking YouTube channel. It's bigger than that. So I'm going to Meldrum. I'll take it to Erica. I'll take it to professionals and let them look at it and pick their brains and see how convinced they are. Again, vet your own stuff. Yeah, those are the things I'm doing before I'm running to any YouTube channel to say, look what I got, look what I got, look what I got. Yeah. Screw that.
Patrick, save singing the Black Crows until another time.
What is? Oh, you want to hear some crows? I don't know, man. I might get
You'll get flagged.
If I play the crows on here, I might actually get a copyright strike.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'll do it later. I'll send you a personal video of me playing some Black Crows.
All right.
And this is Lockbeard's being so clever tonight. This is
Yeah, he is.
Squatch Talk 7 into squatchness, squatchiness. Earlier, it was what was the the voyage? Let's see, the 6, the voyage of Squatch. But what was the one before that? It was like the wrath.
The wrath of Pat.
The wrath of Pat. Yeah. Yeah, I've lost it though. I can't find it. Like chat's flying by, dude. Like
I know I can't keep up.
for my stupid little channel, Pat's anyway. Say it was Squatch, Squatch Talk episode 5, the Wrath of Pat, right?
The wrath of Pat.
I don't know, but Brandy's been laughing her ass off all night long.
Blackbeard's the best.
Yes. Yeah, this is interesting, actually. Yeah, we're all kind of like we're all like hypnotized. This is not how a good show works, guys. We don't get hypnotized with chat. They get hypnotized with us.
Yeah, but they're funnier than us.
I agree. I agree. I'm being way too serious. I'm not using much humor tonight, but a little. But yeah. Beam me up.
No, it is a good idea, but a lot of this stuff should be common sense for a lot of people who know already what they were doing, researching. I mean, if you're a person who just went out walking and came across a Bigfoot, I really wouldn't expect you to know a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Especially depending on the person's reaction. Some people have said they never gone back into the woods. So, but, for the people who become researchers, I mean, I would want to know before I went out, let me learn my equipment, let me learn this.
It's like Nikki says, is that there's a different level of like personal agenda when it comes to researching. So like you're talking about people that chance encounters, they're just, dude, they get obsessed with going back out there to see them again. They don't care about anything other than that. You know what I mean? But there are people, and that's the niche group I'm talking to. It's whoever you are, 20 of you, 100 of you, that, if you're gonna do this, you gotta up your game. And I'm willing to do that too. I'm gonna up my game. I'm even gonna go out there and do some boots on the ground stuff, just to prove I'm not full of crap. Like, okay, fine. I'll take all angles seriously.
That's cool. That's good. Because you're up against all the researchers, people who are calling themselves researchers, who are absolutely not researchers, and who post every living tree stump out there. Because that's what we're up against. We're up against the circle and the arrow, and
circle.
Because that's all we see all day long. Here it is, right here.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's another little one over here, baby.
I know.
Another little baby over here. Yeah.
So, Steve, Curious Cryptid Steve, you're gonna have to teach me how to do that in real time, like he did on the show.
Oh
one night.
Yeah.
He put a red circle around him, and it was hilarious.
I was there. I saw it. Yeah.
Yes, I want to know how to do that because I have no clue. But yeah, I mean, researcher, I'm going to research them. I have my own way of doing it. And I think it's going to get results. Like, I'm convinced it will. Maybe I'm a fool, but We'll see. But I'll go out there, you know. I'll go out there, man. I'll deal with these things face to face. I mean, I've been around them, that's for sure, already in my life. It's not pleasant. I got no thrill off of it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
It was the opposite. It was like, I don't want this.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah. So whatever. I'll do it again. Screw it.
What does that mean? Too much unearthed criticism?
I don't know. There's
That's
something.
pretty much all Bigfoot is right now is a lot of criticism, skepticism, you know, trying to come up with answers. That's what we are. That's what we do.
Yeah. But you know what? There's this thing right out here, 20 miles north of me, that's an actual thing going on in the woods called the Bigfoot phenomena. And it cares not about our speculation or infighting, none of that. So focus on that. Focus on that.
Yep.
And when you get that, bring it to the table the right way. And I say skip the Bigfoot world altogether. Don't bring it to the Bigfoot world. Like, again, Meldrum, other people, other professionals, whoever, dude, take it to them, not us. You know, that's my opinion.
Having a good system to vet your material is always the way to go before releasing it onto your channel or anybody else's channel.
Yeah, it's important.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, like, I mean, to bring up Larry and Mark, they did part of a show, like it was a month or two ago, like 6 weeks ago. I could find it. It's posted in my Squatch Talk group on Facebook. You know, scroll down about 20 posts. You know, where
I had never heard of them before, so
they debunked themselves. You know, and they went through the whole thing. They showed the footage. They kind of made you think that they were showing you something that they thought was compelling, and then they ripped the rug right out under, and they were like, you know, nope. We went back the next day. We tried it again, and we discovered it was nothing. It was moisture in a tree, giving off that thermal image.
Mm-hmm.
So the moisture was warmer than the ambient air around it.
Yeah. I've seen a lot where people have rocks that they're picking up the daily heat from the rocks still.
Mm-hmm.
And
again, if you don't have advanced thermal, you don't have the right palette to pick things out properly. You know, it's too easy to get fooled by cheaper thermal. I say cheaper, again, it's $1,500 thermal. But it's too easy to get fooled by that because the palette the differentiation isn't there. You know, it's just not there. Whereas, you know, I could take an $8,000 thermal camera, and I could tell you what brand of clothing the person's wearing. Yeah. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Know, like, yeah, it's that good. Yeah.
But you're still going to have people saying, no, that's the muscles and that's moving over here. And
no,
I mean, you can see the jacket, dude. Look at the bottom. The butt is square.
No. Again, no. Not with advanced. No, it'll clearly be somebody walking through the woods with no clothes on, with a hair. So therefore, at that point, you would have to somehow hoax that in real time. You know. So yeah, so in other words, if somebody was wearing a Bigfoot suit and you caught them on thermal, it clears day. That's a Bigfoot. So like, there's no doubt about it. You could easily rule that out with advanced thermal imaging. It's amazing stuff. Pretty powerful. Too bad. Sorry. Wait, who's? Yeah, I don't. So, just so you know, I mean, I appreciate your comment, and it's true. I'm convinced that I know I am. Something I've been thinking about for 20 years. Okay. Can I do better? I think I can. Again, I put the thought into it, and I have a professional skill set to bring to the table about it. But I don't do any research. No, I don't go walking around in the woods looking for Bigfoot. Do I know how to do it better? Yeah, get in the air. Get in the air with a $10,000 platform and observe them from there. Again, I came up with this idea 20 years ago when I discovered thermal technology attached to police helicopters. And that involved millions of dollars back then in the late 90s. Okay. And a light bulb went off over my head. It said, oh my God, that's how you find a Bigfoot. Because it was, even back then, it was amazing technology. And so now we have that technology, even better than that technology, for about a $10,000 platform. So yes, I'm convinced that I can do better by not walking around in the woods. That's my thing. That's my thing.
And you've always said that from
I've
the
always
very
said it.
get-go since you've come into the community.
Absolutely.
You've always said you are not a researcher. This is your beliefs and this is what you plan on doing. So you must have missed that part. But and right now, equipment is just now getting into the grasps of some of us who don't have a lot of money. You know, it's just now coming to where it's feasible for us to come up with 10 grand, 15 grand for equipment. Back 20 years ago, it was way out of reach, the costs for that type of equipment.
Yep.
So yeah, there's you can't compare 15 or 20 years ago to right now at all.
No, you can't. And yeah, that was the other thing about it is that when I'm filming a Bigfoot for freaking hours, minutes and hours, I'm not researching. I'm the in-between guy. I'm capturing the footage. That's not research. I don't interpret that. I'm not a professional. I'm not a professional at primatology, wildlife. I can't interpret or, behaviors. It ain't Pat Turner's job to interpret what's happening on that screen. It's someone else's job who's way smarter than me in their own field. I'm just the guy that's bringing it to them. So I'm not even a researcher when I'm flying that drone and getting that footage. I'm not a researcher. I'm a videographer. Nothing more. And a filmmaker, if you will.
What did I just do? You guys still see me? Yeah, because my camera's still on.
Oh yeah.
My whole screen disappeared. How do I get it back?
I don't know.
Retarded. I can't find it.
Okay, so again, like skill. I'm not.
There we go.
I'm actually not doing that. But at the end of the day, what do Bigfoot researchers do? They tramps around in the woods and don't bring home the bacon. So I'm sorry that I kind of like put it that way, because that's the only way I know how to put it. 50 years, man. Roger and Bob, they spent 2 weeks out in the wilderness in a remote area trying to get B-roll for a potential documentary and footprints. And they happened to come upon one. And they were prepared for it. And that was great. But it hasn't been even close to replicated since then. So yeah, I know I offend a lot of guys, even people who are my friends. Like Patrick might even be offended by me saying, "Oh, walking around the woods looking for Bigfoot." Like I don't mean any offense, actually. Like I'm friends with Patrick, I'm friends with Shane, and other people that Daniel, that guys that do go out there. All I'm actually trying to help them up their game in whatever way I can help them. So I'm not telling them to quit and go home, and I'm trying to not be condescending, but I understand that sometimes I come across that way. So I apologize if I was.
All right. I gotta head off, guys.
All right, Sean.
Thanks for having me on, Pat.
Yeah, anytime, bro. You're always welcome here, man.
Take care,
Bye.
Nikki.
Bye.
See you guys
Bye, bro.
later.
It's funny. You just said something and it just triggered something in my mind that they're talking about having a body and stuff in the chat and that Rick Dyer is back on. He's doing videos now on TikTok about his whole Bigfoot experience, and it's just crazy because he's going through the whole story from the 2008 hoax with Biscardi all the way to the one in San Antonio.
Well, if Rick's on TikTok, he's just trying to promote himself and make money.
Oh yeah,
he's
always about that because he's like these last 2 years. I follow him because I'm always interested in the shit he gets himself into. But he's like gone through all kinds of crap. He got divorced and lost his businesses and bankruptcy and all kinds of stuff. So,
well, yeah, dude. I mean, he's a hoaxer.
Yeah, but he still to this day swears that he had 2 Bigfoot, and the Men in Black came and got the first one. That's why they put the fake one in the freezer, and then the second one, they took that one too, and then he made the costume for the second one.
No, that's all bullshit. I mean,
yeah. Well, no, Rick, he did make them. We know he made them.
I'm just saying, but I think they were bought. They weren't made.
Oh yeah. The first one was made from a suit off the internet, but the second one was made by a guy out in on the West Coast somewhere.
Right. Yeah, like a specific thing.
A big one. Yeah.
No, I mean Rick's full of shit. I hate the fact that that's called the Georgia hoax. Like,
yeah,
that bothers me to this day. And I mean, what happened with that, if you remember correctly, because boy, I do, the media was involved.
Yeah,
the media.
A lot of
media.
I mean,
so Fox News, CNN, I mean, like, major media outlets at the time actually freaking got involved, and they got burned, and so they'll never touch it again.
Yeah.
So it's like, thanks, guys.
It's very rare. You see one little spot here and there about a lady saw a Bigfoot, and that's it.
No. The mainstream media will never take it seriously again without the real credibility of like some kind of like scientific institution.
Somebody else will have to be involved.
Like like way more than Meldrum, like way more than Meldrum, like there would have to be all kinds of things involved.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so misunderstood. I swear. Like, what am I like the Howard Stern of the Bigfoot world? I swear to God, so misunderstood. Like, look, man. Look, I know Patrick. I know Patrick. All right. Like, trust me. I know that guy. He's a good dude. We have a relationship. Like, I ain't stepping on his freaking toes, man. Like, I respect that guy for what he does and what he can do. And I cannot hang with him in that kind of professional skill set. But he can't hang with me in my professional skill set. I promise you. Like, it's called we complement each other. You ever heard of that? So sorry. I know. I'm being I'm condescending. Patrick's laughing his ass off because he knows exactly what I'm saying. Anyway, this could be juicy. Backstage. When were you backstage with Raptor? Huh? I asked you a question to Doug. I don't understand.
On Squatch Detective. I'm assuming.
What was
Right?
Raptor?
Or
What
no?
was Raptor doing backstage
Oh no.
on the Squatch Detective show? That's
Yeah, it wouldn't have been.
me. Okay, but I can be Lockbeard. Yeah. I can be, but I won't. Yeah, there's certain things I won't bring from my own personality and worldview into the Bigfoot world. And yeah, any kind of
you should see him behind the scenes after the show's over.
You should.
Oh boy.
And other shows we've been on. On different topics that had nothing to do with Bigfoot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could bring it. I think Lockbeard, he subscribed to the Modern Day Debate channel, so he may see some of that for me one day. Actually, if I ever do any like political stuff on there. Yeah, I mean, I hear you. Like, these are fair questions. Like, I've tested my ideas out in theory enough. Like, I know enough about what I'm doing and what the technology is and what it should be able to capture. I know enough about it. But you're right. I mean, I won't say. It's hard. It's hard for me to say, well, I have the best way. It's too easy for people to call me out and say, well, have you done it yet? Well, no.
I said that to you too.
It's not the right time of year, and I haven't saved up enough money to buy the damn platform. We're talking about expensive shit here, man. It's gonna cost me $10,000. I don't have a fucking car right now. All right. So I'm trying to get a $10,000 drone. I don't even have a car in my life that's mine. Long story. And I'm not trying to be like, boo-hoo or anything. I'm just saying, man, that's how serious I am. Well, I mean, I have a Honda V6 Touring Edition, but it's not mine. I don't own it. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, that's a fair question. I mean, it's a fair. Oh, Patrick, if you only knew. If you only knew. The things we don't talk about.
Oh, lordy.
Okay, Raptor says, I've never been on that channel. If it's a channel. What do you mean, if it's a channel? Like, are you questioning the reality of somebody's channel, Raptor? Oh, no. Are you that much of a skeptic? Sorry.
They don't exist unless he's seen it.
No. It's just that he said, if that's a channel. Like, what do you mean if that's a channel? Of course it's a channel. Pat, link to what? Steve, I don't understand. Clarify. How do you add moderators? You have to do it while your YouTube feed is pulled up. So like I'm here, I'm on StreamYard. I'm not on YouTube, even though I'm on YouTube. So to add a moderator, you have to go into live chat and actually click on the 3 little dots, and it'll give you add moderator as live chat is happening. So, do I want to? I mean, I'm sure I can post the link. I suppose. That's how I added Nikki as a moderator. Because she said, Pat, you need to add me as moderator. I pulled up my phone. I was like, okay, live on air. I was like, well,
I thought something was going to come up and it didn't. You didn't need me. There wasn't anybody there just in case.
No, I thought I thought those were fair questions. I do. I mean, I kind of like I understood the context. Like I could hear the tone in the wording, but it's okay. That doesn't bother me. Like honestly, they're at the end of the day, they're fair questions because I'm not a person that's looking for Sasquatch yet. I come on here tonight and give an opinion with a 5-point criteria of how people need to up their game. That's not contradiction, but it's I understand where somebody could kind of call me out for that.
Thanks, Patrick.
And it's true. Oh, there he is. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage. The red circle beast you've been looking for your whole life.
So, the red circle is a watermark on the virtual camera. It is no different than that label.
I still don't understand. So it's a virtual watermark in what program? Like I don't.
I'm using XSplit virtual camera.
Okay, so it's in your webcam
so
system.
XSplit lets me do the background, and it also lets me do a watermark. The watermark is in front of me, and the background is behind me.
Gotcha.
Kind of like, do you remember doing the old Hangouts, the Google Hangouts? You could do all kinds of stuff on Google Hangouts. You could change your faces and everything.
My first use of social media was related to Sasquatch about 1.5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Right. And yeah, so that's all.
So for example, Pat, dare I do the red helmet background? You know which one I mean.
I'm not sure, but go for it. I don't care. The red helmet.
Oh yeah.
So that's the watermark. That's in front of me. You can no longer see me. So
nice.
Let me change that back. And now I'll just change the background.
Now it looks like
Oh, now you're flying the plane.
yeah.
You don't have your helmet on. You're not safe. Eject, eject.
So you see, I could do a mix of the background and the watermark to put part of this graphic in front of me and have part of it behind me.
Cool.
Well, that is cool. I learned something tonight.
But no, the mystery statement for Raptor.
Yeah.
You had Doug Hychek on. We were all on talking to him.
Okay.
Raptor had this question that he posed several times, which was the network was airing new Monster Quest programs. What's the big deal? Because they were all the same old programs. Well, they were the same old video, but they had completely new narration. They were completely remixed. It was not the same mix of stories in the same episode. The network does this to just produce new material for
New
a minimal
material.
cost.
Yeah. Yeah, at minimal cost, right? Like
It is.
low cost.
All they had to do is pay a narrator and an editor.
Mm-hmm. Right. And so like, what? $500,000 later, they just profited a bunch of money. And they probably had to pay Doug too, but
I'm sure there's something in the contract about residuals of some kind.
You would think. I mean, I get residuals off The Walking Dead,
Really? Wow.
Well, yeah, it's like pennies a year.
So important. Can I have your autograph?
Absolutely not. You'll just sell it on eBay. You just sell it on eBay. I'm not that stupid.
You'll diminish the value.
Steve's already been working on it with his 3D printer. So I'm already
It's
screwed.
gonna be all over.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's funny.
Nice consistent audience tonight. And at this point we're just talking shit, but was talking about yeah. So I don't know how that got confused because you said something about backstage, Steve. You said something about being backstage, and you made it sound like you were
yes.
talking about Raptor.
So this is the fun thing about trying to use a phone for text. I asked your question to Doug backstage.
Oh, okay. I got you. So yeah, Raptor, you weren't backstage. You didn't have a pass, bro. No one gave you a backstage pass. How dare you try and get on my tour bus?
If Raptor was backstage, he would have been able to ask the question himself, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Actually, dude, Raptor, I'll give you a backstage pass, man. It's cool. I was just kidding about that.
But Nikki, you mentioned earlier, I was hearing something about having to compete with all the people that are out there taking pictures of every shadow and saying that's Bigfoot. I don't look at that as competition of any kind, actually. They're appealing to a different audience.
That is true. That's very true. The people who do believe in that, they're a whole different breed on their own.
Yeah.
I mean, so, and that just goes towards what I was originally saying, is that there are so many different facets, so many different types of searchers out there, that you may appeal to this group, but you're definitely not going to appeal to the other 70%, and vice versa, because some people like to see stuff every day. They want to believe that that stuff is, that interaction between Bigfoot happens every day with some people, you know? So,
Yeah. Well,
and they can believe that if they want
there'd
to.
be a real market for that. What there is a real market for are the people doing the hoax stuff, or the people just reading any story they get in email. We know that guy. He's just north of me here. And there is money in that, but there's no facts and there's no useful information in that.
No, it's just how he presents it is, believe me, this is true because I'm telling you it is, because I'm reading it to you. And people will grab a hold of that because a lot of people have stories or have had experiences and have not shared them for the fact that they're afraid of being ridiculed. So they feel, oh, I can send this to this guy and he'll put it out there and I don't have to do it.
Well, it also makes him an outlet for fiction.
Yes, it does.
He is so absolutely confident. No one's going to sit down and write a Bigfoot encounter story just to fool me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah,
you just got 50 of them.
Yeah. He's very confident, or he portrays himself as very confident, and that's fine. I mean, I've sat and watched several of his videos before, mostly for the background.
Who? Oh, Steve.
Yeah.
Steve Isdale.
Ishmael.
How Not to Hunt guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Who keeps promising that big things are on their way. Big things are coming. They're coming. Come follow me because I've got some big stuff happening. And it's been a while now, but stuff's still coming.
Dude, that guy. So that guy, here's my take on him. He had a fairly popular channel with How to Hunt.
Yeah.
I think he had about 30,000 subscribers.
About that, because I had been watching him mostly because of his videos. He had beautiful videos going out there.
So here's this. He builds the How to Hunt thing up. He's a guide, hunting guide, like big game sort of, elk and whatever you hunt out there, where Steve is basically.
Everything. There's everything there.
Yeah, a lot of big animals. Successful YouTube channel. One day he decides, for whatever reason, I don't know why, start talking about Bigfoot. And I guess it was based on like his encounter, his first encounter he had,
I think it was based on curtailing the business of hunting grizzlies.
Okay. I don't even know. I don't know how.
I think he was making a lot of money on those hunts, and that business got curtailed. So all of a sudden, a big chunk of his income disappeared.
Oh, okay. You're going to. I see the angle. You're
Follow
going
the money.
Yeah. So, okay. For whatever reason, he starts talking about Bigfoot on that channel, and God, it wasn't long. I don't think it maybe a couple of months. Like, I remember watching his channel when I first found him go from, 40,000 subscribers to 80, like in a month, or 2 months or 3 months, whatever it was. Yeah. And all of a sudden his shit's being shared around all the time. And so, yeah, dude, I mean, that's good monetization right there.
Bigfoot stories sell.
I could promise you this, dude. That's enough viewership that every day Steve Isdell wakes up and puts gets out of bed, puts his feet on the ground. He just made more money than I'll make that day, you know, just
All you
from
have
getting
to
out
do,
of bed. Yeah.
Pat, all you have to do is surrender your integrity. You have everything you need to do as well as what he's doing.
I agree. I do. I could completely fool the Bigfoot world. It would be so easy.
Mm-hmm.
I have the background. I have 20 years in the entertainment industry. I've been on the world's most popular television show. I can act. I can definitely act. I could completely, I could be a sham and probably blow my channel up to 30,000 subscribers just by doing that kind of stuff. But I'm not. And I've said what I've just said, my whole spiel, more than once. So there's plenty of public documentation of me saying I could if I want to. Therefore, if I ever do, I could easily be called out on it. I just ruined any chance of me like being that guy. You know what I mean? I think, you know.
Yeah, well, a lot of people in the field don't go back that far. Trust me. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the repeat offenders.
Yeah, but I agree, but it's
pictures coming out.
You know how it is now, Nikki. It's much more common for like I'd say within the past 3 years, really is where it's easy to go look up what anybody said.
Oh, it is. It totally is. But
Yeah.
How many times have you been on there and you can't make a comment without them saying, if I say that is a known hoax, it was back in 2008 and it happened like this. And they say, well, where's your proof or where's the backup on it or pictures or whatever. And I'm like, well, go look for it. It's right there on the internet. Go type in the Google on there what you're looking for. And the photos are going to pop up all over the place.
Oh, that's just vicious disinformation put out by the men in black and the government secret police.
So all these pictures I have of this Bigfoot with the head right here and the guy's arms, that's made up too. You know that.
Well, yeah, you had that costume made up after you saw the video.
Yeah.
There's an answer to everything.
There is. And I just get, for a very long period of time, I had all that and I would just shoot over all this evidence and be done with it or post it up. But more and more I go, now I'm like, you go look it up. I don't want to go look it up again. I already did my homework. I don't need to prove anything to you. I'm just telling you what I found. If you don't believe me, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's simple. Do your homework. It's not that hard to drop photos into Google and see what happens.
Yeah, reverse search.
Or
Yeah. My only point is that I could do something completely different. I can go out in the woods and go, oh, and sounds are going off behind me, and it's all an act. And it's like, oh, there might be a Bigfoot nearby. Listen, you hear it. You'll hear it in the audio. Whoa, whatever. I could do that so easily. I could be a complete sham if I wanted to be. I could be a hoaxer. Like I could be the best hoaxer if I wanted to be.
I posted pictures up when I first had my channel and people were picking out crap and I'm like, no, that is not a Bigfoot. I walked right by that and it's like you're talking about an area 2 inches tall. There's not a Bigfoot in that little spot right there. It's not. If I had heard something or seen something, I would have said something. But
yeah, I've had someone point out a burrow on a tree that was right in front of me. Excuse me, I was there. Look at the video. That was 15 feet away. The burrow is 3 feet off the ground.
I had somebody say that they saw a Bigfoot peer around a big pine tree at me. And when I went and looked at it, it kind of does. All you see is like a brown something kind of go like that. And I walked that way. There's no way a Bigfoot could have been there. So it had to have been a limb or something, but I'm trying to recall later. But I know it wasn't a Bigfoot in that tree. It's just an illusion.
Can you go back to the exact spot?
Oh, I couldn't at the time because I'd already left the area.
Yeah.
But I had walked that area 3 times over a weekend. And it's just like, no, there's no way that's ahead. That's ahead because I continued to walk past that tree. I would have heard or seen it, had it been, unless they were trying to tell me it disappeared into the tree. Yeah, it went into a portal. So
there's always a magical explanation.
Yeah, at that time I was totally against the woo side.
Well, so for the most part, the reason we don't find them out there is because they're not where we're looking. It's exactly like what Doug was saying when we were on. You need 500 variables to come out just right in order to get the subject into the picture, and we don't know what 400 of the variables are.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Unless you're extremely proactive. Yeah, I don't know. It's I guess like the point I was trying to make, about the way I make my public statements, is because they could be used against me if I ever did anything nefarious, right? So, and I could do nefarious things if I wanted to, if I could go back in time and start this whole thing over again, I could be completely nefarious about it. And, try and sell t-shirts or, get monetization, sub base, all that. It'd be very easy to do. It's like so easy. One Bluetooth speaker.
You wouldn't even need to go back. All you need to do is go off the air for a little while, disappear, start up a new channel.
Right. Yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah, I could disappear for half a year, maybe a year. And I could probably find that audience. Like, you're right.
There are people with 3 or 4 channels going at one time.
Well, I only have one Bigfoot channel, at least on YouTube. We're also on Twitch, by the way. So if you're on Twitch, hit that follow button. Subscribe, Twitch. But yeah, I only have one Bigfoot channel on YouTube. I've got 5 YouTube channels, but only one Bigfoot. That's it. It's easy to do, man. Like, hey, here's how you blow up your YouTube channel, guys and gals watching, if you so prefer. Just take a Bluetooth speaker with some spooky audio, or whatever it is. Put it out in the woods, film yourself, have somebody cue up that audio on the Bluetooth speaker and react to it. That's it. And be a half decent actor. Gobble, gobble. 100,000 views later, you have a successful YouTube channel.
I've seen like 3 videos with the same growl in it. The same growl, and they're all saying, oh, what is that? Acting like
right.
And they found it. They actually did find where it came from, and it was from an old cartoon prehistoric dinosaur or something sound from a kids show.
Yeah. And that's happened before. So like there's been some people busted doing that. They're not in the Bigfoot world. That's weird about it. They're not in the Bigfoot world. They don't engage in the Bigfoot world. They have these YouTube channels. They have 150 videos. and just one of them is this weird Bigfoot hoax they did, right? And so, like, the video before it has, like, 750 views. And the video after it has, 1,000,
After.
76 views, whatever. But that one video where, like, you're talking about, where they did the audio from the production of a show in the middle of the woods and reacted to it, 1 million views or 800,000 views or 600,000 views, whatever it is.
Now, Patrick, do you really think we would find all the Muppets in just 168 hours with Todd standing?
That's a good question, Patrick. It's a very good question. I agree, Steve. Like, would we find 168 Muppets in that session with Todd? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know if you'd find that many. I'm just curious if you'd be able to find all of them. I mean, if he's put 2 up on the screen thinking they were good, how many do you suppose he has that he knows were crap?
He knows what he has. He knows what he's doing.
Right.
Now, I believe, this is my take on Todd Standing, is that I believe he may have legitimately seen a Bigfoot at some point in his life and went out there to try to duplicate it and get it on film to become famous. But he was unsuccessful. Therefore, out of desperation, after years and years, and all the opportunity he had with his production company, with makeup artists, with the putting out actors, an ad in the paper for actors, all this stuff just kind of adds up, to red flags that something else was going on. The gorilla hands in being found, all that stuff. You just don't take a little piece and forget about the rest. You build up all this little red flags until, okay, something's going on.
Yeah, but the gorilla hands were a big one.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
But people don't want to hear it. They only want to see the footage.
His personal life going off the rails.
Desperate. He's so desperate that he files motions with courts. He goes to California and does it again with the help of Claudia Ackley.
Yeah.
I mean, what possesses a person to go that far?
And I'll say this too about Todd. Like, at times, taking females out into the woods alone, just him and a female, in a small little camper, kind of weird, definitely inappropriate. Whether you're single or not, or they're single, it doesn't matter. That's inappropriate when you're talking about, like, researching Bigfoot. Like, here's your tent, here's my tent. I've always thought that kind of weird too.
One thing I will say about the tents, though, people who see these things aren't so much into tent camping usually afterwards.
Right.
Well, yeah. Praying
and Sasquatching. Yeah, the cartoon growl, they found there's actual footage of the real movie where it came from and everything. They found it, and it's a complete match, and it's been used 3 or 4 times already. Because once one person got away with it, the mushroom guy looking for mushrooms, and he hears it, and then there was another one and another one after that, because people will just do that.
Yeah, and so yeah, again, I'll say, like Nikki said, is the mushroom guy. So if you look at his channel, like that's one of the biggest. It was the biggest views he ever got off one video. So it helped his channel in some way, I would imagine. Also, Donald asked this. I can answer this. And I think Nikki can too. So who found the Gorilla Gloves it was a couple that I believe paid money to go on an expedition with Todd.
Yep.
And they were like sort of filming themselves. And they were talking about being out there and, you know, they were on their phones filming themselves. And they brought it up. They said, but it was kind of weird that we saw these Gorilla Gloves in the trunk of his car. And I guess they had taken a picture of it and sort of like inserted that into the video that they had made, right? And so there's this picture of these Gorilla Gloves, and so they referenced it and also talked about it in that way. And they thought it was odd, and you could tell like they were kind of getting a little suspicious about what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the Gorilla Glove thing came from.
I don't understand how you could be suspicious being in the company of a Bigfooter who happens to have Gorilla Gloves in his car.
Yeah.
Why would that be suspicious at all?
Well, I would say this, Steve, is that like if you get sucked into a certain like level of thinking, sometimes it takes like something that powerful to actually make you start questioning things instead of going immediate like, oh, you're full of crap, because you kind of come into it primed as a believer, you know. So that happens. It happens.
Yeah.
But hey, they put that video out, dude. I mean, that was an important, you know, that was an important documentation. So at the end of the day, they decided to release that.
Mm-hmm.
That at that point, they were beyond suspicion. They were like, okay, we got to call this guy out for what he is, at least to this degree, you know.
Because I do believe the area he goes to is a very interesting area. I mean, I don't think he went out there to that Nordic area and created all those tree structures. And I don't really believe or hold much weight on tree structures, but those are pretty big. I mean, I didn't see any evidence just from the videos of any kind of tractors or anything getting in there and helping to create those. You know, so they're scattered out through the whole area. And he's not the only researcher in that area who has come up upon some. So, you know, there's still that phenomena that's out there.
Yeah.
So
but I'll say this about Todd. If Matt Moneymaker thinks you're full of shit, you're probably full of shit. But yeah, I mean, you know, Todd could be one of those guys, dude, because I'll say this about Todd objectively, you know, is that he's an interesting dude. There's something there. There's something going on there. Like,
well, he's got a bit of charisma and orientator type.
Yeah.
Sense to him.
There's something else going on there. I can't quite put my finger on it without saying too much. But there's something else going on there. And it's quite possible, dude, that Todd, you know, Todd's one of these guys that had a run-in that there's no way for him to document that. So therefore, he tries to document it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If that makes any sense.
He wants to prove that it's real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, and in a way that like sort of matches up to his whatever happened to him. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe there's something off the charts going on.
I think that's exactly it.
That he maybe he's just, has some mental disability or something.
But listen, you cannot tell me that you filmed 2 Bigfoot close up. Okay, we already know the metadata is all retarded on that stuff already, and that there's layering. We know all that already. But you can't tell me that you never saw those things get up and walk away after hours. You would just get up and walk away from that scene of 2 Bigfoot sitting there? You wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be scared. You're already right there in position watching a Bigfoot. Well, one at a time, I guess. One and then the other one. I don't know how that happened either.
Well, what was the camera doing when they came up to there, or when you came up to there?
Exactly. Were you already stationed there waiting for them to come right to their little point there? Or wouldn't you have had to follow them to a certain position? There's way too much that's missing from those 2 photos. Not to mention that one looks like it's made out of felt, completely.
One?
But, the other one is
looks
made
like felt.
Yeah, that light brown one looks like just felt I can go get out of Michael's,
Yeah, no, man.
The other one is kind of made differently, to me, looks more prosthetic type stuff.
Yeah. I say this, they're impressive pictures either way, and they're easily compelling to, say your average person, non-skeptical.
The gray one wasn't all that compelling.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the 2 photos.
Yeah.
The Muppety one, yeah, I hear you there, but at least the what do you call it? He had a name for it. Jake, I think.
Sounds right. They call it Jake and Blinky.
It's kind of like,
kinds of stuff.
I'm sure there were people. I know there were people that have actually seen a Bigfoot that were like, wow, that's really close. Or that's very similar, or that's about it. That's so.
Yeah, that's the second one.
To pull that off is pretty impressive, actually.
I don't know.
But
all we see is from here up for that whole thing.
Yeah. It's funny looking.
It's funny looking. It is.
But I don't think I'm looking at a Bigfoot. And yeah, there's all camper. Yeah, and that's always struck me as weird. I'm that's weird, dude. You're going through marriage problems, and you're trying to get chicks out in the woods to look for Bigfoot. It's weird. Stop doing that. It's very Matthew Johnson kind of thing going on there.
I would have winked like this, Patrick.
There you go.
Don't overact it.
They would have known I was a girl. Yeah.
So yeah, you could be a personality, and you can make waves in the Bigfoot world enough to where you can make money off those waves. And so, I don't know, if that's all you want to do, if that's your agenda, they don't care, right? Those people don't care. That they're like, there's this thing over here I can make money off of. It's kind of low-hanging fruit. It's easier to do than, this over here. you know? And so, yeah, I mean, people can come into the Bigfoot world, make waves, be very successful at it, and you know, walk away with a paycheck at the end of the day, whatever that is, you know, whatever amount of paycheck it is.
Right.
But I'm not that guy. Obviously, I have 400 subs, man. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to make money. I'm not even monetized. You know, hey, look, if I find a dead Bigfoot in the woods, hell yeah, I'm gonna try and make money off of it. Like, of course, I'm not gonna leave money on the table, but I don't have these discussions aren't about making money.
Oh, these guys are cracking me up.
Yeah, which one?
Patrick and Lockbeard.
Oh God, is Patrick still with us?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is, I mean. Okay. Okay. So, bam. So I should get you. And then Patrick says, and then Lockbeard says, see, we here at Squatch Talk, sometimes we engage with chat way more than everybody else. Like, who the hell in the Bigfoot world engages with chat in this way?
I did hear about that Gwendolyn Jones chick who Todd was associating with, got arrested.
Oh yeah, for yes. I don't know any of the specifics of the. Oh shit, we lost. I don't know any of the specifics of this.
I don't either.
I heard about it. So
Yeah,
what's that all about?
I don't know the whole story either, so I can't really. I just heard about it and I went, "Oh, okay, whatever." I just went about my way. It wasn't.
Yeah, I would like to hear. I'd like to hear some specifics on that. But yeah, screw Todd.
Yeah.
Outstanding. You know.
See, to me, he's so easy to talk about because I read so much and seen so much that I don't have any doubt, about him. So
yeah, I mean, again, man, he's
and people just love him. They love him.
Some
love him.
I mean, people like. Well, he put himself out into the Bigfoot world the way he did,
I think what they loved was the fact that he wanted to be for the Bigfoot, to help Bigfoot, be a conservator or whatever, to help get them have laws for Bigfoot to save them. He wanted to be their savior. And people like that. They love that.
Yeah.
Because it's always been kill or not kill. So I think that's what a lot of people grasp, that he was actually, he did go to the court. He did file motions. He did do all that stuff. So I think that's what a lot of people like to grasp at.
Yeah. Like that, and that he can get close to them. He's filmed them. That kind of thing.
Yeah. What was that boom, Steve?
I don't know. Like I
he boomed and he was off. I
asked him if it was a thunderstorm.
I didn't know that he heard it.
Storming bad in, what was that, Maryland? MD? What's MD? That's not Maryland.
Oh, he thinks it was a transformer. Wow.
Oh, like Optimus Prime blew up? What? No way. He's indestructible. Did Megatron finally defeat him? But yeah, I'm cracking myself up at this point.
Oh, it's hot over here. Good Lord. I wish it rained over here or something. It's hot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're in Texas?
Yeah. It was it was so hot, but my husband wanted to try to put the projector outside and hook up his new system to it and everything. And I'm like, okay, well, let's wait till it cools down because it had been 100 all day. And so we waited right before dusk to go out there and hook it all up outside. And then, oh my God, at 10 o'clock, it was still 90 degrees out there. It was hot. I'm like, can we go in now? Can we pull all this stuff out and go in? The mosquitoes and the moths are hitting me in the face.
Especially in Texas.
And they just opened up the tributary over here of the Rio Grande because they shut it off in the winter. Then they open it back up for the farms because I live right in farming land, and as soon as that happens, the mosquitoes, boom, like that.
Yep. 90 in Vermont? What? No, Donald.
That's pretty hot too.
No, I don't buy that, dude. It was 90 degrees today in Vermont. Like, it doesn't get 90 degrees ever in Vermont. Like, once in a blue moon. I'll say that. I lived in upstate New York, dude. Glens Falls, Lake George area. And I mean, I couldn't even get in the water. Like, the water never even, like, gets to... Okay. That's anomaly. That's strange. All right, now we're talking about temperatures all over the U.S. Awesome.
That happened fast. Sorry.
Hot and sticky in Louisiana. I don't know. I mean, what are you getting into, Patrick? I don't know. Like your personal life, bro? I don't even know about.
Oh man.
Okay? I just don't even need to know.
Well, he didn't want to come on tonight because he wasn't dressed.
Yeah. Well, that's just too personal for me, Patrick. That's inappropriate for Squatch Talk.
Oh God.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna wrap this up soon.
Oh gosh, we're almost at 3 hours. How did that happen?
I don't know. I gave a 20-minute presentation and it turned into a 3-hour show. Like, welcome to Squatch Talk, right?
Patrick
was fun.
Jello wrestling. Oh my God.
He probably was. Again, your personal life, Patrick. Your personal life, man. Come on. Always shoved down my throat on my show. Oh, Steve, we're about to wrap up, dude. I gotta go to bed. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast or something. I don't even know. Yeah.
Oh, you made me look at my clock real fast. I was like, what? Wait a minute.
Wait a second. No, it can't be that bad.
It wasn't that long.
Yeah, but it is yeah, we're approaching 3 hours.
Dang.
But I mean, chat seems to be having fun. So it's like,
yeah.
I just want, I could just turn it off and let you guys go.
I'd be like, peace, I'm out, dude.
Yeah, I just let the stream go for like 12 hours.
Let them keep talking.
See if how long the comments kept going.
They go on for a while until it kicks them out.
I don't know. Is there anything serious we could talk about before we go, Nikki?
I don't think so. I think
Really?
we had a good chat.
There's got to be something. Just something. Like a quick addressing.
A quick. Okay. Thoughts on being a researcher and having your evidence, I think is great.
Uh,
Take your pictures, take your video, save it. You don't have to share everything, is in my opinion. You don't have to share everything.
That's right.
Because maybe one day it will become something great. But nobody wants to see your circles and your arrows. Well, I guess there are people who want to see that, but not the ones who matter. No, I can't even say that. Everybody matters. Everybody's opinion is their opinion.
Sure.
But you want, like you're always saying, we want to get this further along. We want to move the button, along in the discovery process. And I think it just harms us more by doing that.
Cool.
But
I agree with
But
that.
like Steve had a point too, it doesn't really hurt anybody, their own stuff, because you can move on. Like, I know the people who put out crap, in my opinion, so I stopped watching them. Right? So that doesn't hurt me.
Yeah.
All it hurts is the new people coming aboard.
Right, because you've already been through the crap cycle.
Right. And now they're going to have to go through it and find out.
Yeah, but they may not survive it. Some of them won't survive the crap cycle.
Yeah.
But then again, there's nothing I could do about that. I really don't want to
nothing we can.
I really don't want to spend my time criticizing every piece of BS that comes across, the Bigfoot world, Like I've learned that is not something that I need to be focusing my energy on.
I did for many, many, many years. That I did. And I didn't care. I got into many fights. There are a lot of people who don't like me because I voiced my opinion on the evidence they shown. And some would say, well, you don't even research. You don't even go out there. I go, no, I don't. I'm can be your best friend or your worst enemy because I sit and watch what you do.
Yeah, it's okay to
I'm
judge.
along for the ride because you go out there.
Yeah. There's no problem with judging
this guy because he goes out for 3 hours, 4 hours, and he posts every little bit of that online. And I go out with him and I'm learning from him. Every step he takes, I'm taking it with him.
Right.
So I'm learning more. If you want to be technical, because I'm not just learning from the desert Sasquatch, I'm learning from the Florida, I'm learning from Maine, I'm learning from Ohio, I'm learning from, the Pacific Northwest guys, which are a lot of them, so it's like, I've been around, I've seen all those things that they're doing, and I like them, and I follow them, and I pay attention. And for many years, I had a book and I would write down people I liked, what my favorite videos they had, and I also had another notebook of people who were not good, who I thought, why are they posting this? This is not good, and to avoid them. And just because there are so many names out there, so many, just that I try to keep in tabs of everybody, but just like when Little was talking about Leo Franks, I was like, oh, Leo Franks, bam, troll Bigfoot. That's how I remember that photo, troll Bigfoot. So, and all those photos, I try to link to somebody, or I take. When I have evidence, I'll put it on my iPad or something, so I have the evidence right away. Like those old photos, people of seeing the Sasquatch hanging from the tree. It's a black and white photo, but the picture of the bear, which is in the original photo, is out there on Google, but people won't see that or look for it.
Right.
So I save it and I send it to them. This is the original photo. I'll even put a photo of the two put right next to each other.
Sure.
So I liked to do that for many, many years. I did that, but it's finally gotten to the point where I don't get involved as much anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna say this. Like, if you can't meet the 5 criteria I put out tonight, then you're not worth looking into. Like, your shit ain't worth fucking looking at. Period.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So, and I'll say to this a little of exception. Like, there may be a circumstance where one of the criteria can't be met. That would be understandable circumstantially, you know. Again, like even for me, if I'm looking, one of my pieces of criteria is to say, gather evidence from the area. But honestly, Nikki, like if I'm looking from a drone and I'm 2 miles out, I could never it'd be extremely difficult for me to go gather evidence from that area.
Right.
So I'm saying, okay, at least most of the criteria, like 4 out of 5. If you hit those points, you're not full of shit. If you can't hit at least 4 out of 5 points, then you're full of shit. That's just what I'm chalk you up to, unless you have a really good, private explanation for as to why, I get that. There's always exceptions, but let's move the ball down the field, man. Let's up the game. Why not? Same old ain't working. It's not working.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm ready to do that. I'm willing to do it. I will do it. I will be doing it. So yeah. That's what I have to say about the discussion. And before we get sucked into chat's banter, I'm just gonna end the stream.
Yes, end it. Good night, everybody.
Yeah,
Love
man.
ya.
Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for engaging in chat. Hit that like and subscribe button, please. It actually does help. I would like to grow the audience to, whatever audience is willing to hear this kind of stuff. And I will never hoax. So see you guys later.